homemade hot sauce, and you can do it too. Hello, and welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. I'm Kim, and we're in the kitchen today. Typically, you see me in my indoor grow space growing all kinds of seedlings and indoor vegetables, or you see me outside, but today we're in the kitchen. We need to free up some freezer space because before you know it, we will be harvesting items that'll need to go in that freezer. So today we're in the kitchen and we are making hot sauce. Now, I am not a hot sauce expert, but I've been looking around. Last year was the first year that I made hot sauce. It was a green jalapeno hot sauce, and my family said it was pretty good. Well, at least my extended family, because my immediate family don't eat hot sauce of any kind. They don't like the spice. But I thought it was pretty good. My extended family thought it was pretty good. And so today we are going to make more hot sauce. And my website is now up and running. I've been working on it for the last 3 weeks or so. So you can go to www.kimscozycorner.com and you can see my website. I have videos on there. I have a shop for merchandise on there. And and within a month, I'll start adding some of the recipes that I use when I'm in the kitchen. So they're not there yet, but they will be there very soon. So we're going to use a very simple hot sauce recipe today. There are a lot of different ways you can make hot sauce. There's quick hot sauce as well as fermented hot sauce. We are not fermenting today. I'm not good with fermenting yet. And I don't want to mess up the peppers that I had in my freezer. And so we will wait till we have a few more to play with to experiment with fermentation again. So we are going to do a quick hot sauce. And the ingredients for the quick hot sauce are very simple. We're going to just use peppers. We're going to use some garlic, which I have right here, some onion, and I'm supposed to have some distilled white vinegar. But all I have is apple cider vinegar. So we will use apple cider vinegar in place of a distilled vinegar. Distilled vinegar will give you a cleaner taste. It'll bring out more of the florals and the different flavors of your peppers, where this apple cider vinegar is going to mask some of those, but it'll still be a good hot sauce. Don't let that stop you from making your own hot sauce. And then a little bit of salt. That's it. Peppers, onion, garlic, vinegar, and salt. That's all we need to make the hot sauce today. Oh, and a pair of gloves. Anytime you are dealing with spicy peppers, please, please, please wear gloves, because the oils from those hot peppers will get in your skin. You'll touch your face and you'll regret it. I promise you, you will regret it. Now, we could go straight from this step right to the cooking step of cooking them in the vinegar, but I'm going to add, I think, a little more depth by roasting at least my fresh ingredients first. So that's what we're going to start with, is the roasting of the fresh ingredients. And I don't have many because most of my peppers came from my freezer. Now, if you want a nice, bright, red hot sauce, then you need to use nice, bright, red peppers. I have a few, but I don't have a lot. So I am going to be using jalapeno peppers from the freezer, and they're green. So this is going to really change the color of my hot sauce. I'm going to add some sweet peppers because I just love the flavor of sweet peppers. And they're already diced up. No need to cut those. I have a bag full of red hot peppers as well. And it's a mixture of red hot peppers. I think there's serrano in here, chili peppers are in here, and yeah, I don't know what else in here, but they're all hot. Serrano, chili peppers, Baggio. I think that's it. I have a few peppercorn. That's not right. Here's the name right here. It's a Greek pepper. I always pronounce it wrong. Here's the name. I have a few of those in a bag by themselves. It was just for peppers, so I want to get rid of them. Cleaning the freezer out. I have some Baggio peppers, and these are actually from the 2022 season that we need to get cleaned up. And one more bag of sweet peppers. So honestly, we're more sweet than hot, but it'll have just a little bit of flavor on it. So those are the peppers from the freezer. I just harvested 2 paprika peppers, and only 2, so we're going to add these. And I have 1 onion from my garden from the 2023 season. So I've already cut it in half. All we got to do is rough chop it because we're going to blend everything up in the end. So I don't need small pieces. I just need it roughly chopped. And this is garlic from the 2023 season. So everything that I'm using here, with the exception of salt and vinegar, came from my garden. I'm really, really excited about that. So let's get this chopped up first. Now I have my gloves on, and I'm only chopping 2 what I call mildly spiced peppers, and that's it, just 2. So, but I still have my gloves on. You gotta protect yourself. Let me get a waste bowl. All right. So we will just rough chop these onions. They don't have to be tiny. For the peppers, I'm leaving everything inside, everything, because I don't have a lot of heat. And the majority of your heat for your peppers are with your seeds and the little white material that runs down the inside of your pepper. And so I'm keeping all of it because I don't have much heat. And my extended family loves heat. When I gave them the peppers last year, they said they were good, but they weren't hot. Where my family on this side were like, you trying to kill me. For the garlic, I don't really need that much garlic. I just need a little bit. I'm just going to give them a rough chop as well. Usually you only want, I don't know, 2 or 3 cloves at most. I'm going to put in 5 cloves. And so I'm just pressing them down. That releases the aroma. Oh, they smell good too. And again, rough chopping because everything is going to be blended. So there's no reason to spend a lot of time chopping. I'm just going to throw them right in here with everything else. Now we are going to roast them to bring out additional flavors. Let me get those seeds. I want those too. Making hot sauce is actually a pretty quick process too. Again, I'm not an expert. This is just how I like to do it. So we have our onion, our 2 peppers, and our garlic roughly chopped, and we are going to take them back here to the stove, which I should have turned on, and quickly roast them, and we will move on to the next step. I'm going to bring you in closer. While our pan is getting warm so we can quickly roast the onions and the garlic, I am going to have to do something with all of these peppers that came from the freezer. I want to get the water off of them, so I am going to just take this and strain them in a bowl while we're roasting the vegetables. So there is a lot of water in these here, so we're going to just pour this to get the water off. I just want to make sure that I get all the flavors that I'm trying to get. I don't want them watered down in any way. I put my gloves back on just in case. I got some of these pepper juices on me. I had some people ask me whether or not you can freeze peppers. And yes, you can freeze your peppers. Now, they're not going to be crunchy afterwards, so you're going to have to use them in a cooked dish of some kind. But if you freeze them, you can use them. And I've been freezing my peppers now for a while. This isn't new to me. I've been freezing for some time. But usually they were just sweet peppers that I would use in my cooking. Now I'm trying to figure out this hot sauce, y'all. Now my hot sauce is not going to be a solid red because I'm putting this green stuff in it. So we already know that my hot sauce is going to have a weird color. All right, some of these peppers I didn't even get the stems off of, so we have some work to do. Let's get the stems off. Rough chop as well. Oh yeah, for the hot peppers, there's also cayenne long peppers in there as well. I was trying to remember all the different peppers that I use. Next time, I guess I should label my container in something other than just hot. The key for me was keep the family away from it. And I always like to mix my stuff up. I'm hoping to have enough habaneros this year and serranos so I can make some habanero chocolate or habanero and sriracha hot sauce, which is probably a better hot sauce for my brother who likes things super hot. So we're going to put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of our pan. I don't know, maybe a teaspoon, not much. And I'm not roasting much. I wish I had more peppers that I could roast, but I only had 2 peppers for this, fresh peppers, but I have more peppers coming in the indoor grow space. We've been growing peppers all winter long, and they are ready to come in. They're green. I'm just waiting for them to turn red. Now, they're not hot peppers. They're sweet peppers. But we are growing peppers indoors. I'm going to go ahead and add just maybe a half teaspoon of salt because that'll help sweat the onion. If I chop the onion smaller, I'll have more surface area and the char would come faster, but this is good enough. We're in no big hurry today. Now, while I'm waiting on these onion and garlic to continue to roast and char up, a couple of different things I want to say. If you decide that you want to roast your peppers, your hot peppers, make sure you're in a well-ventilated area because the aroma coming off of your hot peppers are going to be so strong. So make sure you have well ventilation, whether you got fans, windows, whatever you need to do. But roasting hot peppers, it'll hurt. It'll hurt. It'll make your eyes water. It'll be so strong. It'll have you coughing. So make sure you are in a well-ventilated area. I had 2 peppers in here, and I'm already kind of tasting some of the aroma that's in the air from the 2, And paprika peppers are not even that hot. So I think we're about done with this roasting process. Let me bring you back in so you can kind of see what we're doing. So the peppers and the onion and the garlic has just a little char on it right here. And it's practically done. While we're letting it get another minute or two of char, we're going to move over here to this pot. So our peppers that were in the freezer, I'm putting them into this pot now. Most of the water has drained off of them. I'm also adding vinegar, roughly 2 cups of vinegar. I'm going to turn it on. We'll get this going. And then we're just going to add the roasted vegetables to our mix over here. Yeah, I think that's charred enough. Get our charred vegetables in. Give everything a nice toss. So it's just peppers, onions, garlic, a little vinegar, and some salt. And that's how we're making our hot sauce. It actually smells pretty good. Some people call this a Louisiana style hot sauce. Oops, I missed one. Yes, some people call this a Louisiana style hot sauce because of the vinegar base. Again, you can ferment if you want. I will try fermenting later on in this season, so we will give it another try. I'm not giving up on fermenting. But we're going to bring this to a simmer. All right, they are starting to simmer pretty good here. They're not fully simmering yet, but they're almost there. So we are going to do one more step, which is add another ½ teaspoon of salt. So I wanted to do a teaspoon, but I had to put about half of it in my roasted peppers. So we're going to add the other half now. I'm going to stir that in. And we are going to let these simmer. I'm going to turn them down just a little bit because I don't want them to boil too hard. All we're doing is softening up those skins, the flesh of these peppers. But we are going to let these simmer for about 10 more minutes. Okay, we have been simmering for 10 minutes. I'm turning it off. Everything's nice and soft and tender. So make sure you protect yourself. You don't want to burn yourself. I tell you what, we will let this cool for just a couple of minutes before we put it into this blender. Now this blender is a Vitamix blender. It can actually take just a little bit of heat, but I'm going to let these cool for just a couple of minutes, and then we will pour this into the blender. I just don't want to scald this container. Now, I can make soup in this blender. This Vitamix blender is a professional line, and I can make soup in here. But I don't want to put anything in here too hot if I don't have to. Okay, I've let the peppers cool just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, and we're going to add them to the Vitamix blender. I'm going to do them down low. I'm short, and I don't want them splashing all over me. I'm going to be honest with you, it smells delicious. I may have done something right here, y'all. Okay, so we will get these peppers all ground up. I am going to blend it to a super smooth. I want it as smooth and creamy as possible. And then we're going to strain it. So I definitely want to make sure I emulsify the skins of all of those peppers so I can get that rich flavor in my sauce. Now would be the time to taste it, to make sure that you got your seasoning the way you want it. I'm going to taste it. I'm going to prepare myself just in case it's hot, but let's get a taste test going. It's got a really nice color to it. This is good, y'all. I mean, this is really good. It's got the heat. I taste the vinegar, but it's not overpowering. I even taste the garlic and the onion. It tastes good, y'all. This is delicious. This is really good. This, y'all, I did this right. This is delicious. It's got a nice mixture. Everything's perfect. The next step is to get this strained. So let's move it over. So here's the strainer that we used earlier. And this is a lot more than I thought it was going to be as well, but we are going to go ahead and pour this in. I got to turn it this way. We're going to pour this in this little mesh strainer here. And what comes out the bottom will be our hot sauce. And I tell you what, y'all, I pulverized these peppers and it tastes so good. I did it right. And it's red in color. So we're going to kind of work this through. With my Vitamix blender, I can really emulsify fruits, vegetables, where pretty much I get to keep everything. There's not going to be much left behind in the strainer, but just in case there are some large pieces, the strainer will catch those. And look, y'all, I got to get another container. There is so much more here than I thought there were going to be. Let me get another container. Okay, so we're going to switch over to this pot. And we're going to finish straining into the pot. Y'all, this looks so good. It is so rich in color. I did it right. I did it right. Now, if you want a thinner hot sauce, so this is super thick, because I have such a good blender, the Vitamix, you might want to check it out. I'll try to put a link, if I don't forget, in the description below. But if you want a thinner hot sauce, so like I said, this is super thick, then you can add more vinegar, and that'll make a thinner hot sauce as well. Some people add water, but I wouldn't add water because water will dilute the flavor, right? You want all of this good, rich flavor. And there's some good, rich flavor here. I don't want to waste none of this. I mean, none. I emulsified it to the point where we getting it all, y'all. You can't tell there was a seed ever in this. It's nice and smooth. It honestly looks kind of like tomato soup, but it's not. There's definitely a punch to this. Now, if your blender doesn't blend as fine as mine, that's okay too. Any bits that get left behind in the strainer, you can dehydrate those and use those as flakes. A chili flake, a chili pepper flake. Ooh, that's a nice spice too. But this is delicious. So we're going to finish. And I'm trying not to rub too hard because I don't want to push everything through the mesh if it doesn't really want to go through the mesh. But this hot sauce is amazing. Brother, wait till you taste this one. You're going to like this one. You're still going to say it's not hot, but it's good. There's flavor. There's a sweetness. You can taste the onion. You can taste the garlic in here. So I think I hit the combination just right. Well, while this is still straining here, I think I got all my goodness out here. I am going to start putting this in jars. All right, since I ended up with so much more than I expected, I'm going to put it in this larger container here. until I can put it into nice, beautiful little jars. But for today, I'm going to just put it in here. Now, this is a vinegar-based product. I can put it in these containers and put it in the refrigerator, and it'll be good for many, many months. Or I can take this and I can water bath can them and seal them in mason jars, and they will last for over a year. So we have options on how we want to preserve this from this state. But for today, we are going to the refrigerator with this. I'm going to just pour it right into the jar. Look at that. It looks so good. My mother just walked in the room. Mom, this is better than Texas Pete. This is good, for real good. She said it smells good, and she doesn't like spice. Now, she'll eat a little bit of hot sauce like Texas Pete, or Louisiana hot sauce, but anything more than that, she's not interested. But this smells good. It's got a sweetness to it, Mom. It's really, really good. She said she'll try it, folks. That's a start. I don't know if you can see just how pretty that is. That looks amazing. And it tastes good too. So and this is a 1.5-pint size mason jar. Okay, there's a few seeds that didn't completely emulsify, so I'm glad that I did strain it. Now, you don't have to strain it. You can leave the chunks in there in your sauce. Some people like a chunkier sauce. And they're not bad depending on what you're planning on doing with your hot sauce. This, y'all, I could sell this. This is good. This is good. I mean, like really good. It's just the right mixture of sweet peppers and hot peppers. All right, I think I got it all out the strainer at this point. And there's nothing left behind for me to dehydrate, honestly. I mean, my blender really did an excellent job. So I just need to get it off the outside, capture all of this goodness in the jar. We have hot sauce. We have delicious hot sauce. And you can do this too with peppers and onions and garlic from your own garden. It's not hard. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel and turn on notifications so you know when I'm dropping those new videos. And until next time, and I hope there will be a next time where you come back to Kim's Cozy Corner to see some preserving tips, gardening tips, and among many other things. So until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you come back and join me at Kim's Cozy Corner. Bye.